Ragnar was reprimanded by Charlie, and he dared not look up. He naturally knew these things about Wu Qi. But he originally thought that it was all between his son and other girls. Even if he did harm a few girls, after all, he did not harm Charlie and the people around Charlie. Why did Charlie hurt him? However, seeing Charlie so furious at the moment, he realized that the sense of justice in Charlie's heart was far beyond his imagination. Charlie observed at Ragnar at this time, and said coldly, "Ragnar, Auntie wanted to kill you, but I didn't expect you to be so irreconcilable. In this case, I am also taking 40% of your assets. If no, I will let the Wade family dispose of you at will in the future." Ragnar burst into tears suddenly. He was still carrying his hands behind his back, but he immediately leaned forward and knelt on the ground. While kowtow heavily, he cried and begged, "Master, I was wrong. I know I was wrong. My son is indeed guilty of death. You being able to spare him a dog's life is already a great kindness. It is because there is no I and no way to discipline him. Please be merciful and forgive me once," Charlie said coldly. "You have no way to discipline, more than this one." Having said that, Charlie asked again, "Your brother-in-law Nanshan committed countless crimes. You, as the head of the first family in Orr's Hill, Nanshan committed these things by pulling your banner. It all happened under your nose. You know in your heart, why didn't you stop him? If you led him to the right path earlier, he hadn't poisoned so many people, and I hadn't let him sink in the river." Ragnar was shocked. At this time, he immediately realized that Charlie did the thing that the original brother-in-law Nanshan and the entire top of the beggar gang were destroyed, so Ragnar didn't care about the shock, and cried, "I'm sorry, master. I do have an inescapable responsibility for this matter. I knew he was doing these things at first, so I wanted to stop it, but my wife cried and hanged up with me 3 times, my heart softened, just thinking, anyway, I don't participate in it myself, so he can do whatever he wants. I never expected it, because of this, just committed a terrible mistake." Charlie gritted his teeth and said, "You did commit a terrible mistake. How many children and families Nanshan destroyed? Part of each of these debts is recorded on your book of deeds. With your crimes look, even if I kill you now, the 9 heavens gods will make atonement for what you have done in your next life and the next life. Let your 9th reincarnation suffer all the suffering in the world." Buy best-selling books online. Ragnar's crying nose and tears flowed, and his voice trembled. "Master, I really know that I was wrong. Please give me a chance to correct the evil. I am willing to hand over 60% of the Wu family's assets. I have a chance to take the lead. The Wu family will do everything for you from today." Charlie waved his hand. "It's not just about money anymore. If you really want to correct the evil, I can give you a chance, depending on whether you can accept it." When Ragnar heard this, he squatted his head and said, "Master, please tell me." "I will do my best to seize this opportunity," Charlie said coldly. "Change 40% of your family assets to Mr. Orville, and Mr. Orville will hold it in the future, and another 20% will be used for charity to make up for the evil your brother-in-law Nanshan has done over the years." Orville blurted out, "Master, how can this be done? You gave me life, and if you want to give me these assets, they are also given to you. How can you give me?" Charlie said lightly, "If Mr. Ragnar agrees to this solution, you will take 40% first." Ragnar dared to say nothing, and nodded hurriedly. "You can rest assured, Master, I will do this today," Charlie said again. "Ragnar, from today, you are Mr. Orville's person. If Mr. Orville asks you to go east, you must go east. The direction is halfway off. I want your Wu family to completely disappear in the south of the Yangtze River." Ragnar didn't dare to say half a word, nodded hurriedly and said, "You can rest assured, Master, Master Orville will be my master in the future." Charlie said to Orville, "Mr. Orville, take care of him in the future. He dares to have any disobedience, tell me immediately, Mr." Orville hurriedly said, "Master, don't worry, I will. As for Ragnar's shares, Mr. Orville will hold it for you temporarily." Charlie nodded slightly. Immediately, he looked at Cynthia, whose cheek was swollen by Orville, and said lightly, "Auntie, since you are here, you will stay in Orr's Hill for a long time and wait until the new year to go back. But your nephew, I have been busy recently. I'm not going to visit. I wish you a happy new year in advance. Having said that, Charlie became serious and warned, this is the end of today's business. If you let me know that you dare to do any small actions behind my back, then don't blame me for being rude to you. Cynthia observed Charlie and wanted to say something to support the scene, but when the words came to her lips, she couldn't say it all at once. She found that Charlie's character was too similar to his father, that is, her second brother Chang Ying. Why was Chang Ying so famous back then? He looks like a weak scholar, but he can stand in front of the army. As long as it is what he decides to do, he has never given up and failed. Even if the whole world stands in front of him, he has to blaze a trail. Therefore, there was a saying in the upper-class society of Eastcliff, Wade family has a son who can do anything. Mention Chang Ying, even his opponent would give him a thumb in his heart. At that time, he was the most dazzling new star of the Wade family. Now, Cynthia realized that she had actually seen the aura on Charlie's body. Therefore, at this moment, deep in her heart, she felt a little awe of Charlie. It was also at this moment that she knew that she could no longer offend this nephew who hadn't seen her for many years, otherwise, she really didn't know if he would really kill off his relatives. So, she could only smash her teeth and swallow in her belly. After a long while, she was aggrieved and said, Charlie, I will listen to you about this matter today. I will not pursue your mother-in-law or Ragnar. Having said this, she almost begged. But, you can no longer protect the father and son who tied me up, right? Auntie has suffered so many crimes today, and you have to tell Auntie. After speaking, Cynthia thought of her series of tragic experiences today, her nose sour, and tears came down. She was really miserable today. She wanted to ask Elaine and impress her with her attitude, and bought her by the way, but she didn't expect to be hit by Elaine. Then Harold, Noah led them to this place. Then Ragnar came again and beat her up. He almost shot her up with a single shot, causing her to pee in H3R pants. She hadn't suffered any bitterness in her life, so she tasted the sufferings of the world today. And what was even more annoying was that she had never fought with Elaine before, and was slapped in the face by her. She wanted to kill her to relieve her anger, but she was Charlie's mother-in-law, so she couldn't get revenge on her. Ragnar now offers most of his family property and is willing to be Charlie's running dog. In this way, only the Wilson family father and son can be retaliated against. Charlie frowned when he heard this and asked Orville, what's the situation with Noah and Harold now? Orville said, these two people's arms and legs were smashed by Ragnar's men. They have become useless. Master will tell me what to do next with them.